We're live.
Good evening. Welcome to Football United TV. This is Gunners from All Corners with your show, Anthony Herbert. And now it's time for the famous intro. This panel. What can I say? It's good to have you back, cuz, Marlie.
Yeah, man,
Hello?
it's good. It's good to be back. I mean, just being back in this space, of course, like it's emotional for me, but it's good to be
Yeah.
here, guys. I'm sorry I had to leave you with Anthony. Like I know how much of a downgrade that is, but like best we could find, and I know he's been doing a great job. So thanks for having me back, cuz it's good to be back.
No, that's right, cuz. Anytime you're welcome. You find me at the bottom of the heap. So, I was the only one that was free, so. So, long time no see, but it's nice to have you back on the show, mate.
Sorry. Thanks for having me again, and I'm happy to be back. And I'm more happy because Arsenal is doing good, right? So I guess it's time for us to be happy and enjoy and talk happy things because we know how much we suffered in these last few years. So good to be back.
Yeah, it's great to be on the up. And here's the individual here. Here's the main man as well. Here's Tony Claude from Gunner TV. How you doing, Tony?
Hey, see ya, guys. I'm back to Gunners from all corners again with my guy and my friend Anthony Herbert. It's a pleasure to, always come down here, all the time. And of course, to meet this other gentleman, the guy at the top. I heard, you were the handler of the show before. It would be nice to, have a little bit of a nickel, with you today. And my other friend beside me, big ups to you, man. Let's make this a lovely show.
Yeah, let's make this a lovely show. Right, so we're going to go on to our first topic. And our first topic is the Bournemouth victory. What I'm going to do, I'm going to come to Kurt first and get his views on the game. I'm just going to say, with my thoughts, I'm just going to put my thoughts first. I was actually out to do, it was my missus' 90th birthday and my nan's birthday. But, reading the scoreline and knowing that we was 2-0 down, I couldn't believe it. It was absolutely a disaster. And then checking the game at the end and coming back and winning 3-2, scoring 3 goals, in the second half. I don't know what Arteta said at halftime, but obviously it must have worked. So, cuz, I just want to get your thoughts on this game, mate.
I mean, dude, like there's no analyzing that game. I mean, I have my favorite Arsenal brain is right below me here, so I'll leave the analytical part of everything to him because that was just like, dude, um, that was an emotional ride. That was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. I'm sure for a neutral, that was like the craziest thing, like the most entertaining game ever. And I know it was only Bournemouth, who's given us a hard time in the past. I remember a couple of really tough games against them. I know they're not a strong side or anything, but like circumstances, we're losing 2-0. Like to come and with the way 2-0 was created as well, right? Like second fastest goal in the history of the competition. I think it was one of the latest goals in the competition as well, the Nelson goal. But
Oh,
that was just talking about it, man. I'm sorry, like I'm sorry to touch on this so early on the show as well, but everyone knows how much of a friend to this show and to the channel Steven was. And the game was
yeah.
not too long after a good friend passed away. And it was the craziest thing, guys. I don't know what you guys believe in, but I was watching that game and I knew it because not too long ago I lost my dad. And when I watch Fluminense games, I feel my old man with me, and I knew the same thing was gonna happen with Steven and Arsenal because like Arsenal means Steven to me. Like he's the one that brought me to the space and all that. And when that third goal came in, like I could not believe it, and it was instantaneous. Like I started crying like a baby, and it wasn't just regular tears of joy. Like I'm not lying to you guys. I felt like my good friend was hugging me. Like that was a beautiful moment to me, and that was one of my favorite moments being an Arsenal fan. I know it wasn't a title, but the way we came back with our young team in this title race, it's still so tough, and it's gonna be tough to win, but it was just marvelous, man. Like I can't describe it with my brain. Like I have to describe it with my heart. It was just beautiful to see. Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, it was good. I did enjoy it when we scored the 3 goals in the second half, and you know, it was good victory nonetheless. But Kyle, let's go to you, mate. What's your thoughts on this game?
Well, I think it's very difficult to not agree with what Charlie said. And I am a big believer that even though I like to analyze and we can stay a long times talking about on pitch stuff, football is, in my opinion, the best sport in the world, and some of its beauty comes from the fact that it really unites people, and it's a sport of the mind. And when we see Arteta talking on the post match, I think it was against Everton, I don't know, or even against Aston Villa, and he said, "Look, we're at a point in the season where our team needs to learn and cooperate with many different scenarios, and this is in the mind of the players. It's not about technique. We know our players, we know what they are capable of, and when they get so united with the crowd and with the fans, and they really believe in what they are doing, and that's what makes us fans connect and extract these moments of remembering friends and remembering relatives and remembering people that we love that share the love for the club with us. So yeah, I can tell you that when it was something like 85 minutes, I was suddenly, I thought, well, maybe Arsenal is gonna lose this game. That's how confident I was that we were capable of lose no, but draw the game. This was how much I was confident on Arsenal being capable of delivering the result. And in the end, we managed to do that. But I guess that most of all, we managed to win in a difficult scenario, as you both said, um, being 1-0 down in the less than 1 minute, and then suffering a goal from a corner kick, which is a moment of the game that Arsenal is doing really great in the past few seasons. So it's a really something that can get to the players' heads, and well, it's great, and I really relate to the moment of scoring and really being in tears, because we all know what this means for us, um, in all kinds of situations, being a fan and remembering about other people who unfortunately passed away, and great moments, great game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So, your views on the game, but it's top versus bottom. We're 2-0 down. I think you did a watch along. Did you do a watch along on this game on your show?
Are you talking about? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think you did a watch along on this game, didn't you, on your show? So it's top versus bottom. We're
Are you
two
talking
nil
about
down.
me, Anthony?
Yeah, and then
Are you talking about
what is
me,
your?
Anthony?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I did a watch along
so
for the show. Yeah, I did a watch
yeah,
along
yeah,
for that Bournemouth game.
yeah. So it's top versus bottom. We're 2-0 down, right? Your thoughts then from 2-0 down. What was your thoughts on the game?
See, yeah, you have to go into the background of that game. Anthony, you know me, I'm a stats guy. I like talking about stats. That's
Yeah,
how I get the background of the game before we even enter into the game. See, we're playing against a Bournemouth side that hasn't won a game. In fact, they've just won one game in 9 appearances, and that one game came in the game before Arsenal. It came to a win against Wolves. That should tell you how poor that side is. If you even want to go
mm,
deeper into the statistics, yeah, this season they've played 25 games, yeah, they've scored about 24 goals, and they've also considered, listen, a whooping 51 goals with 21 points. See, yeah, that's how poor this Bournemouth side is. Deeply rooted at the lesser part of the league table in 20. That's it, that's the list. Yeah, so coming into this game, I was actually hoping that Arsenal would just inflict pain on Bournemouth, but well, the last time I checked, this is the Premier this is the Premier League, and these teams just spring up surprises here and there. See, Anthony Herbert, we went down in the first 22 seconds. That's the fastest
yeah,
goal in the league this season. Yeah. That's huge. And also, we went to the sword 2-0. With a corner kick, considered by a corner kick to Sensei. And this is becoming a pattern for Arsenal this season. Last season, we weren't actually conceding goals from set pieces, but this season, just like the game we'll be talking about later on against Sporting Lisbon, we conceded, of course, through a corner kick. In that Bournemouth game, through a corner kick again, so it's a concerning issue. But you know what? Yeah, that Bournemouth game, say, if you thought that this was just a game of football, well, think again. It was just out of your fictional works. That's where this story actually comes from. Senti scoring and, that second goal and Billing, that first goal in the 20, I think 22 seconds. I was like, what's going on with Arsenal Football Club? Why
yeah,
can't we just really get a grip? We're always known as this team that starts quite well in the first 10, 15 minutes. What's going on here? And there's that drop off in our intensity in the first 10, 20 minutes of games, at least in our last 5 games. We've not seen that. But you know what? Yeah, Arsenal kept possession of that game 81-19. That was the ball possession. Let's don't get it twisted. But the thing there is that these guys, yeah, we need to understand and we need to learn how to cut into teams that decide to keep a low block. And in this case, Bournemouth, they had this very, very intense low block, blocking all ramifications of their goalpost and coming out at will when they felt they should come out. But see, at the end of the day, it took Reece Nelson to just, come in and make that story a fairy tale. And then lovely game. We had to sit down to the edge for that. But you need to ask yourself, is this the way we really need to be playing with these teams, or should we be going early in the first half and kill these games and keep our players, mostly with fitness concerns, crippling into the Arsenal team? We should have done better. But again, These are the type of games that help you to understand the mentality that Mikel Arteta has actually instilled into these guys. They have to win the game. That's the instruction, and that's what they did at the end of the day in that Bournemouth game. True fiction.
Yeah, they
True
did. Yeah,
fiction.
yeah, yeah. It's a shame, really, that we couldn't play what we played like in the second half. Shame we couldn't play like that in the first. But it was well. It was definitely a wake up call being 2-0 down. I couldn't believe it when I saw the scoreline myself, and I was like,
I saw
"You're having a laugh
you were
here."
fuming.
Yeah, I was fuming. I was at a party. I had to go outside and just have a little shake to myself. So yeah, it was pretty disappointing. But then when I saw the highlights on Match of the Day, and then it's like what you said, that Reece Nelson goal. Blimey, what a goal that was!
Yeah.
I even actually saw the video of Ian Wright jumping up and cheering as well.
Jumping
I
off.
didn't know if any of you seen the video, but that was a funny video as well.
It was.
But
It was. That was great.
yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Mm,
So well,
yeah.
I was just happy it's the three points, and we just got to move on from that and just try and keep that mentality what we did within the second half. So that we played. But
Yeah.
I think
Want to take a look? Want to
But
take a
see,
look at the chat?
Anthony, okay. Yeah,
Cause want to take a look
but
in the
sorry,
chat? There's a lot of
I
yeah,
want to come in. I want to come in here, yeah, guys. Yeah, I just want to ask this as an explicit question. Yeah, that Bournemouth game. Yeah, it, do you see Bournemouth as a team that are fighting for their lives, are fighting for their heart and soul, and they just had to start with that intensity that they started against Arsenal with? Or do you just think that it's Arsenal drop off instead of a Bournemouth team that are fighting for their paychecks, that are fighting for their families to fit at the end of the day, to stay afloat in the Premiership? Like, what do you guys think about that?
well, obviously they're fighting for survival. When you look at it, it was top versus bottom, and I was absolutely I was ashamed in the first half. To be honest with you, being 2-0 down, I just couldn't believe the scoreline. And then it proved that Bournemouth. I think they had a bit of team. It's definitely fighting spirit within that game. And then they just went downhill from the 75th minute onwards, and then we started to redeem ourselves. I thought we were really poor from the first hour, first 65 minutes of the game. To be honest with you, I thought we were really poor, but we managed to hang in there and just get the goals as we did, and just come out the game just like luckily with a victory that we had. So that's all I've got to say on that. Did anybody else got anything to say on this game, or if not, we go to the comments? Or
I mean, I got to show the comments because there's a lot of them. But just to your Arsenal's been struggling defensively. You can't we can't lie to ourselves. Like there's been a drop defensively lately. But that being said, Bournemouth definitely played one of their best attacking games in the season, if not the
yeah,
best. I'm assuming Billing had the best game in his career. Like he was phenomenal against us. He was really good. Even Solanke, like he was rapid. Now, like Bournemouth was a threat attackingly, and you're not used to seeing that ever, really, ever since they lost. Their manager to Newcastle, right?
yeah,
I think they haven't been a threat offensively without Ryan Fraser or anything like. It's been a while, but we definitely like need to work on our defense because it's been weird, like
yeah.
conceding two to Sporting as well. We'll get to that. Caillou,
Yeah,
do you have
yeah.
any? Sorry, do you
Mostly
have
the set
anything?
pieces, the set pieces have been very poor in recent
Yeah.
games. We've been conceding left, right, and center. Defenders jumping above our central defenders to score goals. It's a bit appalling, and I think that should Mikel Arteta should be talking to his set pieces coach right now.
Yeah, should be. Right, cuz. Do you want to do read out some comments, cuz?
All right. Do you want me to read them out? Or
Yeah, go on then, mate.
all right, Marley, my man, how are you? Tiho, it's good to see you, mate. And the rest, of course. The Dugout Football Channel says, "Hi lads,
That's my mate
hello
Doug.
back." Right, long time indeed. God, that Reese Nelson goal has had me coughing all week. Still not lost the sore throat. Yes, that was intense. That was
Yeah,
intense. I didn't even have the strength to yell. Like I was just crying. I'm admitting it right away. Big up. Uh, Evening, folks. United 58. Zinchenko's is extremely crucial to our success currently. His passion is unmatched. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a
Facts.
lot of work that needs to be done defensively because of the way he plays, I feel, and that might not be spoken of enough. But he's like going. I've never seen a left back do what he does, and
no,
that's actually a good topic. That like I think we're about to lose Tierney, and I don't think
yeah,
there's anyone that we can find that's gonna offer like a true, like replacement for Zinchenko when we need it.
yeah,
Caio probably knows a couple of options. I think Caio Henrique from Monaco, like his quite of he played for Fluminense, so my bias is always going to be there. Okay, when we went to 2-0 down, I was fuming, laughing my ass off. Glad we could pull out the win over the line, though. Yes, one of the happiest days of my of my life. Not gonna lie. Evening, everyone. Thanks for joining. Keep bringing those comments in. Smash the like button, and thanks for supporting us. Thank you indeed. We don't have a great depth whatsoever attacking wise, but we have very fluctuating attackers, which make up for it a tad bit. Okay. And Maddie said, "Big up, talk MU. Big up, big up, talk
there you go.
Oregon." All right, that's all the comments thus far.
Okay, if you go on to our next topic now, discuss our
Absolutely.
next topic. Right, is the Europa League game against Sporting Lisbon, 2-2. Uh, I felt with this game, even though this, the scoreline, I thought, to be honest with you, we were, in my opinion, I thought we were poor at the back. Uh, the player that stuck out for me, who I thought personally had a poor game at that time, was Ben White. He
Mhm.
was next to Saliba, and I can't remember who the player was for Elizabeth, but he just literally, it felt like he just walked in between them. I went on and scored the goal. So that to me was poor. I thought Turner was, he was sort of averaging goal, but another poor player for me that sticks out, which I know he didn't get a lot of game time, is Fabio Vieira. I thought he was a little bit poor in this game as well. So that, to me, they were three poor players in that game. I'm going to go to Tony on this one. I don't know if you agree with me, Tony, but can I just get your views on this game,
Me?
Tony?
Yeah, I. Nope.
Tony.
I think. Yo, Tony, can you hear
I
us?
thought it was.
I
Yeah. I'm
think
Tony.
there's a
Anthony.
slight
Yeah.
delay
Okay.
with you guys.
Okay. I can get you now. See, yeah. See, let's not complain about that Sporting Lisbon game. Mind you, Sporting Lisbon is rooted in fifth in their league right now. And of course, and yeah, these guys were in the Champions League. They dropped off to the Europa League. And mind you, this same guy steamrolled Tottenham Hotspurs and came down to the lane and got a draw. So you're not talking to any, third rated kind of team. This is a legitimate team that will hurt you when you devalue them. And I think that's what Arsenal did before getting into that matchup. Uh, like I said, we need to be going into these matches with our full strength squad. Don't care how anyone looks at it. This was the reason why we left the FA Cup in it. This was the reason why we left the Carabao Cup so that we could, because we don't have a big squad, definitely. So we want to compete, yeah. And the Europa League remains the only title that Arsenal have right now to pick up a silverware that's not a domestic trophy, and it's also an European trophy. So I want to see that seriousness when when we want to play this type of team, mostly a team that dropped off from the Champions League. We should be competing with these guys with our best, the best that we have. I wanted to see Odegaard. I believe this was the kind of game that would suit him perfectly, because there was lots of spaces, deep pocket spaces that he would have exploited, to cut the defense of the Sporting Lisbon team, because it was just wide open for us, and you could see lots of true balls from Zichenko, who's like the goddamn Matrix. He's everywhere, popping up everywhere around the field. So you hardly understand if it's a defender or if it's a midfield or even a third layer supporting striker. He's just everywhere. He cuts that defense open. So just imagine what the magician Martin Odegaard would have done. Bam, 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 tap, tap, boom. Got in your first, second goal, and then you keep him for the second half rested for our Fulham game. Unfortunately, this is what you get when you like underestimate certain teams. I really did think that we should go there with our full strength squad. Fabio Vieira didn't have a poor game per se. Anthony, I beg to differ. It was actually one of those that actually was running the show for Arsenal in any way. He made good deep runs. He got some shots on goal. He had some headers. He tried to create, some certain type of chances that we had. We didn't create quite many. It was just later in the second half that Granit Xhaka imposed himself more into the game, and he started to create spaces. And Thomas Partey also with those deep runs and trying to cut the midfield, mostly with the running Morieta, who was running helter-skelter for Sporting Lisbon everywhere. Technical players. Saint Juste was just running, trying to pick up all these loose balls at the end of it. Trincao, fast, pacey. This guy's Inacio. That's another one, and that Paulinho goal that you were talking about, simply amazing. Inacio goal was also quite amazing. And this is that the people will really have to be very, very careful. These guys have genuine and legitimate killers in that team. I'm sorry, we don't look at the Portuguese league as what it was once, before. Right now, they have players that could cause damage, and Sporting Lisbon just gives you a clear example of what these guys really are. Killers.
Yeah, they
It
are.
will be a
Yeah,
tough one at the Emirates, a very tough one.
it will be. But hopefully we'll win and go through to.
Yeah,
So,
and we
can I get
we
your?
were very lucky to get that second goal. Very lucky to get
Yeah,
second goal.
we
Extremely
was.
lucky.
Yeah, that the
I hope
yeah,
we won't be that lucky in the second one. Let's go for it and win it.
yeah. Chloe, your thoughts on the game, mate?
Yeah, I genuinely thought that this was Arsenal's worst game of the season because many reasons. I think first of all, really the lack of playing time of some players like Matt Turner and also Kivior, who just had his debut for Arsenal on the last game. Um, it was really felt because we count too much on understanding our own game. And I know this is something that seems a bit confusing idea at first, but it's really about all players knowing how to generate backups in the midfield and superiority, and also knowing when to spring, when to run, when to support. And I just thought that both Turner and Kivior were very poor on the ball, not showing confidence whatsoever, and it's very difficult to play out and resist Sporting's press, high press, very high press, when we had this kinds of doubts in the players' heads. And I also think that, and this is a very soft factor to talk about, but it's the reality of the game. I
Yeah,
thought that Sporting's pitch was very dry, very dry. So sometimes the ball would not roll out the same way it would in a Premier League pitch and at the Emirates, of course. And in the first half, I think there were like 3 or 4 moments when we were supposed to go out and play after their press and spring and run with the ball, and the ball was just not going to the place where it was supposed to be. um,
True.
I also agree that we were very lucky because um, they were a threat, and I personally don't believe that we created enough to make the 2-2. And sometimes luck is a factor, but like for against Bournemouth, for instance, of course it was a tough result. We had to go deep end of the game to get it, but we had a lot of volume. So we're playing our numbers, right? So we're creating a lot. We're the second half of that game, it was a big pressure from Arsenal, and eventually we will get the goals. But against Sporting, it was nothing of that. We did not have any volume of chances, of big chances, good chances. Um, yeah, it was a really poor game from Arsenal, but I agree that our squad is not very deep in some positions. I think that if we think that Kivior is a signing for the future for next season, um, he's adapting to our play style, and it will be very harsh from us to ask a lot of him right now. um, but in the other hand, we have to give a rest to G Mag, right? Because he's been playing all season, and I think he's the least rested player in our squad. So we have to give him a rest. And I'm 100% for resting players in the Europa League. In my mind, I don't even like that competition. I would focus 100% in the Premier League. So that's it.
That's it. Gus, I want to get your thoughts
Yeah.
on the game, but also with your thoughts, what was the main Arsenal player that stood out for you in that game? I know it was a poor game, but if you was to name one, who would it be?
Oh, you mean positively?
Yes.
Oh, ooh, yeah. That was a bad game from Arsenal, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough. I mean, Martinelli almost
Bukayo
scored one of
Saka.
the.
We can always count on Saka.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's the standard answer, right? Martinelli almost scored one of the craziest goals ever.
Yeah.
And I on like
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah.
weird to call out Fabio Vieira playing a bad game because I thought he was one of the least bad performance of the night
The
as well.
list. Exactly. I
Yeah,
second that.
exactly, exactly. He didn't have a good game, but he because probably because like Caio did just mention on the difference on the pitch and all of that, like Fabio Vieira should be the one more used to playing
Mm.
there because he has played there many times in the past. But like so much to address in everything you guys said. I don't agree with a lot of that's been said, so let me play devil's advocate here. I'm with Caillou. Not with Caillou as in I don't like the competition. I actually do like the Europa League, and in these years that Arsenal was, like second tier in the Prem, like I'm a little hurt that we didn't manage to win that one because it's a
Yeah.
cool competition. Like we weren't at the level of the Champions League. I feel like the era is coming to an end. I don't plan on being back in the Europa League anytime soon. So it would be nice to be back. But then again, this game, like I feel like I was with Tone until this game because the end of the game, cousin, you touched on Ben White. Him and Saka, like you could see how dead they were in the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like they were dead, dead. Ben White's not even a player that doesn't get rested. Like he does get rested every now and then, but they were beat. like that. Like there was no more fume.
And
When
that is another argument for the dry pitch, because dry pitches usually demand a lot also from the players.
yeah, 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 which is a good
Yeah.
sign for the next game in the. And like Sporting, yes, we did underestimate them. We absolutely did.
Yeah.
But then again, like I don't want us to now say that like they're a decent side. Like they're struggling this season. The fact that they're not in the top three. I know that Porto, Benfica, and Sporting, like they're good historically, and they always find a lot of really like great talent, great Portuguese talent that in the 21st century, like it's been blooming. But
Oh,
there's
they
a
do
huge
have.
yeah, there's a huge drop between third and fourth. Like the rest of the league is indeed like a lot of staircases like below what we're used to playing in the Prem. So the fact that they're behind, I think they're behind Braga. I think they're in fourth. It does
Yeah,
say that they're
exactly.
not having it.
But
I know
again,
they beat
again,
Spurs, but then
I'm sorry to
again,
cut in there. I'm sorry to
yeah.
cut in there. But Enzo Fernandez have left the club. Mind you, in the transfer window, Pedro Porro also left the club. This has made that club a little bit redundant. And even with those two missing from that team, they're still trying to, plug the holes down there. So they've missed
Was
some
was,
couple of players that are leaders in that team.
was Enzo at Sporting? I thought he
Porro,
was.
Porro was
Oh,
there. Porro
Poro.
was there.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Porro, Porro was
No,
there. I think
sure,
I
sure.
think Fernandez was there too.
Yeah,
If I'm
a
not
couple years
mistaken,
ago, yeah,
I think
yeah, that's where he
Fernandez was
came
there.
from. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
where he came
yeah,
from. No, they have an amazing youth system. They've always had Cristiano Ronaldo came from there as well, but it's just like it's not a great side. They played
No.
decently against us, but I think it was mostly due to the fact that I agree with Caio, worst performance of the season from Arsenal, and
Yeah.
I know like we can't judge him too much on one game, but Kivior did
Yeah.
have a hellish debut. Like
Yeah.
I don't even say that he like doesn't feel comfortable or confident. Like I honestly felt like he was comfortable on the ball when he shouldn't be. Like he looked poor. He looked poor in that, and defensively he looked horrendous. I'm sure there was some miscommunication. Matt Turner with his feet, yeah, still a long way to go, and there's stuff to work on for sure, for sure.
Definitely. Yeah.
Our starting 11, like sure we've had a drop defensively, but we always pull through. But yeah, when you go to the bench, like we are lackluster in options, and we do have a lack of depth.
Yeah.
We don't even have low numbers in attack, but with the injuries, with the three injuries we have right now, like yeah, we're kind of screwed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what I did, because
Not a bad
still
result though. That being said,
no,
yeah.
no. Like, because I'm still like
yeah.
obviously still chatting with you. How do you feel the game in the second leg? Obviously, is it the Emirates? You know, do you think that he most probably set out the same team, or do you reckon he changed the team a little bit? And also, what is your prediction for the next game? Basically, what's the score going to be in your thoughts?
Yeah, I this is a problem for me because I don't want to put very, very good players on all Europa League games, but at the same time, I joked previously saying that I don't like the competition. Of course, I not a big fan because I think Arsenal should be playing the Champions League. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And right now, with the perspective of winning the Premier League, it becomes even tougher. But um, as all managers say, good teams and good players must be able to play in 3 days. Every 3 days we need to be performing and delivering. So I think that the game will be much easier at the Emirates, and Arsenal will qualify. But I also think that Arteta will put the first team to play, and I don't like it because I thought that maybe we could have performed a little better at their ground, and maybe scrappy a win, so we could now play with not full throttle next game. But the situation we have is that we will go first team and try to win, of course, for sure. I'm really sure of that. Maybe even we'll see Partey and Xhaka and Odegaard, uh, which I would not prefer to see.
Yeah. Tony, what's your thoughts on the returning leg, mate?
See, yeah, Anthony and my other brothers here, yeah. See, if we dilly dally in this game, we're going to lose this game. And
Yeah.
this something that I've seen with Arsenal fans. We get too confident about certain teams, and I don't think that our squad is right there for us to actually devalue and underestimate some certain kind of teams. Mind you, this team bit up Spurs at home and came to the lane and got a very, very good draw against them. So I don't think we're really looking at this in all fairness. They came to London, where there's lots of Ferris fans at the lane, and they survived it. They got a draw. This is the thing there, yeah. They're coming, there's no trickery in this. They're coming with Trincao, they're coming with Edwards. They come with Paulinho. Ignacio will also be there too. In the midfield, they will be coming with Goncalves. He's going to be there. Morita, that found lots of joy in the midfield, is going to be there with them. So, see, this is the plan. We just have to get in Thomas Partey as soon as possible. All our games that Thomas Partey hasn't played in this season, we've lost all of them. Go check. Either lost or drawn them. And that genuinely should show you who the leader in this team is. It's Thomas Partey. If you want to win a game, just put him there. There's something in that midfield that that guy does. His trickery, his magic. He just has to be there for Arsenal to get anything going this season. So in that return match, I really want to see Thomas Partey down there. I also want to see Martin Odegaard come in there and play. Exploit those little. See, there's something about little small pocket spaces that people don't really understand. And the magician and the person that does this very, very well is no other person than Martin Odegaard. He's going to exploit those spaces, create openings for. Okay, someone talked about Saka and White down here. Personally, if you ask me, it wasn't really about the pitch. It was more down to fatigue. Saka has played almost all games this season for Arsenal Football Club. Where is the rest? Where is the direct replacement for this guy? We don't have that. So he has to perform on a daily for us, whether we like it or not. Even in the hard pitches, in the soft pitches, he's always there. It's down to tiredness. This guy has been overrun. And I'm sorry, if this guy drops right now, we're in trouble. And you need to put people that could be able to bring them into the game. People like Martin Odegaard, open up fences and bring in people like Saka and Martinelli more into the game. We need people like that. And Thomas Partey, who could just loop up those certain passes, even to Zaka, who could also create chances, even running forward this season. We've seen that with him. And of course, he had a limitation when he was with Jorginho down there, because Jorginho doesn't have the same kind of walk rate that Thomas Partey have, in his armory. So these are the problems. I really want to see a full squad go in against these guys. They're dangerous. They're dangerous. Let's don't play with it.
Yeah. And your thoughts, Marley? What do you think? How we be in the returning game?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, I don't want to underestimate Sporting either, and I do. I'm somewhere in between. I feel like Arteta is going to start a slightly better team than the one we saw in Portugal. I feel like he's going to rest slightly fewer players, but I'm with Caio when I say, like, I would like to see, like, as many players rested as possible. It hurts because I don't enjoy myself watching a reserve team as much as a starting team. I don't. And I do want to win the Europa League.
Mm.
But it's just that like the arguments you have for Partey, it's just like because he's been injury prone at Arsenal, it's why I wanna like I don't want to see him play in the Europa League unless it's against I don't know like United or Juventus because
Yeah,
he's so crucial and he's so injury prone lately that we can't afford to use him too much. And
right.
being fair, he is the most important player in the team. I agree with that. But Jorginho is one of the best subs we have in the team as well. So like it's not in the same thing as Saka, who again, like if he doesn't play, any team that has Saka starting would be screwed if they didn't have Saka because there's very few players on earth at his level right now. But we really
Mm.
don't have anyone capable of replacing him right now with Trossard injured.
Yeah,
And it I think I'm gonna see Saka playing against Sporting, but I really, really, really don't want to. I really don't want
no,
to. He needs to rest. He does. He's not
no.
protected in the league. He gets beaten up. He plays every single game. It's yeah. I think he needs a rest.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I do agree with you.
Mm.
I just think, in my opinion, on the returning game when we got them at the Emirates, I just feel that you might slightly see a different team set out, but I think being at home, we're going to have the home advantage. And if I was to predict a score, I'll most probably say 2-1 to Arsenal.
I'll second that.
Get that 2-1 win and go into the next round and see who we pull in the next round. But I
Mm.
understand what you say with Party, but
Mm.
yeah, I totally agree. Whether you're going to be playing up against like a Man United or a Juventus, that's when a Thomas Party needs to feature. But at the minute, within this Europa League competition, it's nice to introduce other players. That they haven't played for long. They haven't played as many games as others. It's nice to bring them into it and give them a go and see what they can do in this
Yeah.
competition as well.
See
So yeah, I'm
if
I'm
The,
all for that.
if this is
but
if
that
this is
that's where the
how
problem is. We don't have a big squad for that, and we had a transfer window to bring in players to be able to help us throughout this game because this is what was going to happen. But we don't have that in our armory, so we have to play this game with our biggest players. I'm sorry, unless we should just kiss those trophies goodbye, then I say okay, good and okay. Maybe Arsenal fans don't really want it. Maybe we just won the Premier League. Good and okay. But you can't have it both ways. You can't expect
No,
to put players like Kivio, who's just made his debut from Spezia, and expect him to,
no,
become a big time player all of a sudden and win us this type of intricate games. Like I told you, Sporting Lisbon dropped out from the Champions League. These are big time players. It's not really for the small leagues. And now the time for experiment is over in the Europa League. Now the big
no,
guys are playing for the football club.
yeah.
Barcelona played their full big team when they played against Manchester United. It's the big leagues now.
Well, yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, Tim. But with me, I'm a bit of a greedy get. I want the league and the Europa League. That'd be me. That'd be a good season. That'd be a lovely season for Arteta. So I think we discussed this, but should we go on to the next topic, Cuz?
yeah, let's go.
For
Do
the
you want to
one?
go through the my final argument is that like I want to win both competitions too, but the thing is like seeing the size of our like we can't possibly want to play the same 11 game in
Yeah,
game out until the remainder of the season, and because there's two games each time we play someone in the Europa League, it makes more sense to rest them because you can
Yeah.
recover afterwards. If we lost points against Bournemouth, there's no recovering those points, and we have freaking Man City with Holland and Pep
Mm.
Guardiola like just chasing us in the back. So it's I don't know. I don't think we're gonna rest a lot of players, but and
no,
again, it sounds really simple saying this, but if that's Jakob Kivior playing without too much game time, we need to give him game time. Otherwise, he's gonna stay that way. So we need
yeah,
to let him play a little bit, right? Expecting him to improve. All right, the comments here. Couldn't watch the sporting game myself. I had work, but I'll
Mm.
honestly take the draw away from home. Yeah, if you don't look at the performance, that was fine. To all. It's sad to me that many fans already turned on Kivior. It's his debut. He's a class player still, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, let's give him time. I think Ben White's very underrated in
Mm.
terms of importance. He
Yeah.
changes the flow of the game so much. Caio definitely agrees with that.
I'm number one fan.
Evening all, Mike. Big up,
You
Mike.
might.
Big up, Mike. All right. Those are the comments. And the next one, Fulham preview.
Yeah, the Fulham game. Yeah, well, we got Fulham, as we know, coming up this Sunday. Uh, I just want to know where Fulham are on the table. I know they lost their last game to Brentford. They lost 3-2, but in my opinion, it was a hell of a game. And I think the way I put Fulham are doing this season, they're surprising everybody, aren't they? Their position that's actually in the Premier League. I actually
Mhm.
tipped Fulham to go down this season, and they've proved me wrong. I suppose they've proved
Oh,
everybody else wrong as well. But basically, I'll come to you first, Tony. What I want to know from you is what are you going to expect out of this game, and also who do you think should be in the starting lineup?
Is it for me?
No,
I think it's
Tony.
probably
Anthony
for Tony.
Herbert.
Okay.
We're back to the Premiership.
Yes, we are.
Anthony Herbert. We're
Yeah,
back in the Premiership. See, we need all the old gangs out here fighting. And, we need all of them fighting. It's a gun war. We have Man City coming at the back, looking at us and telling us, "Can Arsenal? Can you with us?" We need our armory down with these players. And you know what? Yeah, when you're going to Craven Cottage this season, it's not your, Dali Cottage, as we used to know before. Is the new improved Fulham. They have Mitrovic there. See, yeah, that guy is rock art, in football. All trickery. This guy is the professor, and he has a PhD on it. And you know what? Yeah, you remember, guys, also with me on this stream. You would also remember this certain Chelsea legend that played for Arsenal who was with a pot belly. Well, think again. He's no pot belly. He's scoring goals right now. He's really that good. He just went to Brazil. I'm sorry, my brother, your homeland. He just went there to just have a little nickel with the boys and came back and he's scoring
And
goals for
it's
fun.
more than that.
It's
It's more than
ever
that.
fit. See, are going.
He played
It's totally more than
at
that.
my
But
club.
these are the people we're going to be facing. Oh,
Caio's a Corinthians fan.
that's true. That's true. But yeah. Big ups to you, man. But you know what? Yeah, he's scoring goals. He's helping them improve. He has around him. They have Paulina. This team is great. It's a great team. So I expect our big boys to show up for this game. Yeah, it's not gonna be easy. And you know what? This is the game because this guy, even if he has been the most improved player in this team, I still see some people still slagging him off here and there, rightfully so. Zichenko. This is the kind of game that we need Zichenko and what he brings to that team. He pops up at different positions all over the pitch. This is where we need him. We need a hard worker who would always run in between the lines invertedly and also do a good job defensively because he will have lots of Fulham players running down the lines and Mitrovic to deal with at the end of the day. So let's see what's going to happen. But it's going to be one of those hard games to grind anyway. But if if we go by anything, they're not good scorers of goals this season. Anyway, they've played 25 games. I think they have 39 points. They balance up with their goal tally. I think they've scored 34 goals this season. I think they're 10 shy in terms of goal conceded this is 11 shy of Arsenal. I think they've conceded a whooping 34 goals this season. Now that's how bad defensively they could get. But these guys, don't get it twisted. They can hit you up on the counter attack. They're very fast when they're running, and they have fast, pacey players that are very strong, hot grilled, ready to fight. So let's see what Arsenal is going to do. We're going to need the expertise of Thomas Partey. I'm even thinking we should even have Jorginho down there in the middle of the park just to really solidify that midfield, I don't mind, because it's one of those games where we will have to sometimes take the hit and sit deep a little bit and wait for the counter attack. We cannot just keep. Just trying to bump forward. We need to be cautious with these guys. We need to be cautious with mostly Willian, who has a bone to pick with Arsenal Football Club. Of course, with his acrimonious exit from the football club, he has a big bone to pick with Arsenal. And Mitrovic, somehow he just loves scoring against Arsenal. So,
Yeah.
see, it's gonna be a handful on Sunday. I hope you guys
Yeah.
think so
If
too.
you, yeah, it's like with the starting lineup. Saying, can you actually see Arteta starting Chiarantini in this game?
No, 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 no.
No, you
No,
can't see him at all.
he's lost faith in him. It is lost faith in him. And trust me, when Arteta loses faith in you, you don't come back to that team. He's going to be shipped out. See, every Arsenal fan should get this, to the head. He's not going to play for Arsenal Football Club. He's not going to play up to 5 more games for Arsenal Football Club. Mikel Arteta
No.
has mentally checked out from him. And mind you, in the summer, if you've been following lots of transfer news, Arsenal was linked. I heard that we have a pre-agreement with a guy from Real Valladolid in Spain, Ivan Fresnada. He will be coming into the football club. He's young, he's fresh, he's Spanish. So, be something or another area we should also be looking at. And mind you, Mikel Arteta wants to be the guy who has made money for Arsenal Football Club. Now the time until Chiellini. He's been injury prone for this football club. Let's get some money for him and buy someone who's more competitive, who wants to play and whose fitness won't be a big worry.
Yeah. Caio, your thoughts on this game? Who do you think is going to be in the starting lineup, and what do you expect to see in this game as well?
Well, I think that's something we all agree is that there's no free meal in the Premier League. So that's what we discussed in the beginning of the show, talking about Bournemouth. We all thought it was going to be a steamroll from Arsenal, and it was far from it. I think Fulham has a very balanced game, but if we take the recent form of Arsenal into account, we have suffered a lot against teams who had runners, players who like to drive with the ball, run with the ball. We can remember of Aston Villa, Watkins, Bailey, Ramsey. They all try to unsettle our play running with the ball. The
Mm.
same could be said for Bournemouth, because we spoke on the first goal and on the second goal, but they had threat in the first half. I don't. It was Solanke, I think, who had a great drive into our box. They were fast. The same could be
Mm.
said about Sporting, because, of course, they have quality in their squad, and they have many players like Trincão, who was at Wolverhampton, and we know that Wolverhampton also wanted players who loved to run with the ball, and Trincão was one of those players. But Fulham, even though they have William, who is the master of running with the ball, that's why he had a very good career under Mourinho, under Conte, even at Corinthians here in Brazil. He's very good at
Yeah,
it.
even your club.
Yeah, it was my club. Unfortunately, I lost him for free twice. Uh, Arsenal released him, and then Corinthians released him. I don't know what I have to do. Bear in mind that William is a player from Corinthians Youth Academy, so
Yeah.
it was very. It's a situation that for the fans it's very not solved. Everyone here doesn't like to hear his name very much. So they have William, and William for sure is a threat. But I think that Fulham's much more balanced. This can play into Arsenal's hand, but we need to be much more clean on the ball than we were against Sporting, for example. Because if we can keep and string some passes and maybe force Fulham after past 15 minutes in the first half, it will be a case of Arsenal having deep threat in the final third. But we know the beginning of the game will be very fought. All teams try to unsettle Arsenal and press high in the beginning of the games. I don't think Fulham will be very successful on it, but if Arsenal can't get a hold on the ball, maybe Fulham can play with the ball and they play a very competent double pivot. So double eights, double sixes, you can think both ways. And they treat the ball
Mm,
well. They are a Premier League team after all, so they can try to do something against Arsenal. Worst case scenario is Arsenal going behind again, because then we will have another scenario where Arsenal will have against the score, and Fulham will keep the ball. It won't be like Bournemouth, because after all, Bournemouth is not the a middle of the table team in the Premier League. They are bottom of the table, so
Yeah.
their best qualities are on the transition, are with speed, a bit more direct. And after they were 1-0, they already couldn't keep the ball. So it's really a different team than what we will face against Fulham.
Yeah.
And we know that the problems we had in the first game, right? Because it was exactly the same. We were 1-0 down, and we had to grind, and they had the ball. But I expect a good game from Arsenal. I always expect that. That's what I said for Sporting. I think that when we have our best 11, we are a match against any team in the world right now. So this is a lot about Arsenal, not so much about the others being poor. It's about Arsenal being capable of
yeah,
going against all types of opponents.
Yeah. And Marley, what's your
I
opinion
agree.
and your
Totally
views on
agree
the
with you.
game?
Totally agree.
And what do you expect to see in the game as well?
Um, all right. I think we're gonna go full strength and like, which probably means that the one position people are a little unsure of would be left wing or striker, right? Because
Yeah.
now we only have two starters playing. I don't think it's gonna be like, I don't think Gabriel Jesus can play in that game yet. I don't think Nketiah is gonna be back yet. I don't think Trossard is gonna be back yet. So I don't know. Maybe Nelson, maybe Smith Rowe. That's another player who I'm expecting to see sold, by the way, in the summer. I know that's not necessarily something the fan base embraces, but I do feel like it's the best scenario for everyone, for Smith Rowe and Arsenal, for him to be sold,
Yeah.
because he probably do better somewhere else other than England, even though he's English. But I think it's going to be a tough game. I feel there's going to be games that we're going to look at where Arsenal are the clear favorites, where Arsenal shouldn't have too hard of a time. But I just have this feeling that the universe is not going to let any games be easy anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm
Mm,
expecting a
mm,
battle.
mm.
I'm expecting a battle. I'm curious to see who's going to fill that last spot in the team, because I
Yeah.
have no idea. I have no idea. Maybe even Fabio Vieira put on the left. I don't know, because it's confusing now. It's confusing. Like our squad lack of squad depth is definitely coming to haunt us now. And yeah, it was a tough game in the first time we played them. I'm expecting an even tougher game now. And just
Yeah.
by the way, just because I always like talking about Brazil a little bit, like Fulham shows that the Brazilian league's not a farmers league as much as a lot of people seem to think. Because Willian, like he wasn't horrible at Corinthians, but he wasn't as great as people expected him to be. And Andreas Pereira, he did well at Flamengo, but a lot of the fan base didn't like him too much either. They're both shining at Fulham. So like that's just to show that there's a lot of talent here, and someone that doesn't do well in the Brasileirão can still do well outside. So
Yeah, yeah,
There's a player I think Arsenal should go after. A striker called German Cano, and I think Charlie would agree, right, Charlie?
I mean, I want him to stay at Fluminense because I've never seen so many goals get scored in my life. But like there's no argument. Like no one scores like he does. Like
No, really,
he's got
Anthony. This guy literally scored from middle of the pitch like 2 weeks ago.
with his bad foot.
With
Yeah.
yes,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Foot.
Are
Like,
you serious?
He's got a Hollandish goal scoring record recently. Like it's crazy. It's
Oh my
crazy.
God.
But
Oh my God.
he's 34.
That's
He's
a big one.
Argentinian. Just missed the World Cup, but yeah, he's good. He's good.
All right.
It's
So,
good, right?
Marley, what's your score
Personally,
prediction?
I want Osimhen to come into the football club. We'll be
Yeah.
fighting for Champions
Osimhen?
League
Ooh.
next season. We need Osimhen to come in and do a big job. I think it's time Arsenal should stop messing about and go and get a big time striker. Go and do it. Go spend
Yeah, we
7
should.
million. We did that
We should do.
with Pepe. Give them Pepe. Throw in Pepe into the deal, or Lucas Torreira into that deal. They like Italian football. Throw them in and bring us Osimhen and let him start scoring goals. Those type of predators, just in front of goals. That's what I want to see.
Mm. So, what's your score prediction in this game? If I go to Marley first, I go to Marley because what's your score prediction in the Fulham game?
Yo, Tone, by the way, I know I disagreed with you a lot tonight, but big up, my man. I hope you don't dislike me because
No,
because the argument thing is
come on, man.
like,
No.
budgetarily wise. Like,
No, we don't know. It's been absolutely fine. It's been lovely. For someone to actually come on this show and disagree with Tone, I'm joking, Tone. No, he's a good lad, Tone. He does know his stuff. He knows his stuff. But yeah, what's your score prediction?
prediction, man. Score prediction. I think it's going to be a tight game, my man. We've been conceding, so yeah, I'll repeat the one I have for the other game against Sporting. 2-1 to the Arsenal.
Yeah. And Tony, your score prediction?
Just look at the Explorer's comment. I would say 0-2. Bro, this is not. See, this Fulham game is a hard grilled one, man. It's not going to be your typical Arsenal win. Oh, my God. And it's at Craven Cottage. It's not going to be that easy. I would say Arsenal might just escape 1-0. And it will be a lucky escape.
Yeah.
What's
your score prediction?
I think you've muted yourself,
I
mate.
hear you.
Oh, sorry. I will go against Tony because what was hard fought and a loss, actually. It was the Everton game, and at the Emirates, we saw what we did to them. So yeah. I will say I believe what you're saying, and I agree with much of it, but I will say 3-0 Arsenal.
3-0 Arsenal.
Oh,
I've gone exactly.
But I will take 1-0 also. I would take 1-0 also. No problem.
I go 2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
I'm sorry, have you guys been watching the same league I've been watching? Have you been watching the same league I've been watching?
I said it on your show. 2-0.
Oh my God. Did you guys see their last match against Brentford? Brentford beat them up. Yeah, good and okay, but it's 3-2. And that's Brentford at Brentford Stadium. These guys Fulham are mad when at Craven Cottage. In fact, they have one of the best home records in the league this season. It's not going to be a walk in the park, my brother.
Whoa, but we have
hard.
the best away
It's
record.
going to be difficult.
But you got to think their main goal scorer, that Mitrovic, and as he
that's
hasn't
what
long
we said
come
when
back
we
from
faced
injury,
Everton away, right?
yeah, but he hasn't long come back from injury, has he? Mitrovic, the actual
Mitrovic. Mitrovic is back. He's back. He's playing.
Yeah, he's back. But
he scored
he was
again
injured.
by Brentford.
Yeah, but he was injured going back a few weeks ago, so he's going to try and get into the game. Even though he did score against Brentford, but you could tell he was.
He's gonna be fit against Arsenal. This pre they always
Well,
seem fit against Arsenal, so he's going to come.
he might do, but I mean, it's depending. See, I thought to myself, even though he played against Brentford, like, it felt like to me that he was still carrying his injury, even though he didn't play that bad in the game and he scored. But it felt like he was still carrying that injury to me a little bit because the game was so fast and it was so good, and you could tell he wasn't. He was sort of like struggling every now and then just to get into that final third into the box, like sort of thing. You know, it was just a lack
And
of pace. I still think he's got that injury, but
and
we'll find out
also,
once.
I want to remind everyone that this season seems
Well,
to be a season where Arsenal's fighting the curses, right? Because Lingard didn't score against us, Mope didn't score against us,
No?
Vardy didn't score against us. Like we seem to be
mm,
cleansing the whole aura a little bit. And like,
Yeah, we do. Just changing the subject, Marlie Caio, this season, when the actual Brazilian league, Serie A kicks off, your thoughts on Bahia? Are they going to be in the top 10?
top 10.
Yeah.
They,
They might get 10th.
no, they are rubbish. Didn't you see the Copa of Nordeste match?
No,
They
I haven't
lost.
been following
They
it.
No,
lost. They are rubbish. They are rubbish. Really.
No,
They
but
but
just
didn't they get bought out by
but
the same?
the investment's coming now. Like they're
yeah,
Yeah.
integrating the players. I don't
maybe in
think they're
two
gonna
three
get
years.
relegated. Yeah,
Yeah, no.
Right, so
I don't
they're
think.
going to get relegated.
No.
No?
I think they'll finish like 13th. Is that fair? Like
Oh, well,
around
that's
like
fair. That's fair.
mid. I think it's gonna be mid table, and they stand to improve from
Yeah,
Man City money. Of course they are.
yeah,
They've
yeah.
they've
I
gone
was.
like they've gone like five Fluminense players, by the way.
Yeah. Oh,
They love us. They love
oh,
us.
that's all right then. Yeah, I was actually listening and agreeing with Kai for the rest of this stream, like through Arsenal. But now on this bit, I'm listening to Marley. Especially when it comes to Bahia. Uh,
You shouldn't. You should always listen to Caio more than you listen to me.
No, but I don't think they will. I don't think they will be relegated. It's just that I don't think they will be 10th. Uh,
no, no, that's all right.
uh,
Marley, there's a couple of comments I think has come up.
There's a lot.
If you could just give them
yeah,
a
yeah.
Yeah.
read out as
Big
we're going to
ups to
finish the
across
show.
the pond who is in the chat here. Across the pond, Sports Talk, great guy, great person. Across the pond, Chris Moss,
Yes.
great guy. Big ups to you. Thanks for coming to the show.
Big up, my man. Yeah, Tiho, thank you, my man. You were like the fifth voice of the stream for sure. I really can't predict what we'll do against Fulham. It can go either way. I'm gonna have a tough time reading everything you've said, my man, because you've said plenty. But they're amazing now. Pretty strong record against Fulham at Craven Cottage, I believe. I honestly don't know. Well, not amazing, but you know what I mean. He's complimenting Kaio's shirt. I believe
Yeah.
we have Palace at home
Talaka.
afterwards, and it's going to be a tough game. But yeah, I mean the one I'm fearing is Liverpool away. That's but we do need to win
Yeah.
everything before that game because otherwise, like we could be in trouble. I can't remember the last time Arsenal did anything to Liverpool away. Like it's a tough place to go. I like to see maybe Tierney starting against Fulham or Sporting, rotate him and Zinni for 2 games, get a bit of confidence back into KT because I fucking love him. Every Arsenal fan loves KT, and I feel like the main reason for
Yeah.
for him to get a couple of minutes is for us to get more money because he should probably leave because he's someone that can start for a lot of teams, but right now for the system, that's my take at least. He's saying the Fresneda is not agreed upon yet, and he's actually a right back. But Tomiyasu has been playing a left back, so that doesn't mean much, right?
No.
And
Yeah,
Tierney started off. Tierney started off great, but Arsenal have gone at another level last 9 months. Decent player to make competition, but not a starter. I big up King, by the way.
Big up
Love you,
King.
mate.
Yeah.
Fulham are smashing it right now, getting the best out of Pereira and Willian. Does surprise me how well he's been doing for them, but didn't show the same for Arsenal. Must be raving the Craven Cottage vibe. I think Caio explained that. like the system in which he thrives the most. I'm going for a shake-up things. Fulham 2-1 win. Willian scored the winner bicycle kick from the halfway line. I think he's going for the anti-jinxing thing, right? Like just Maddie says Mitrovic has been injured recently, so might work in Arsenal's favor. Fulham lacking that powerful number 9 can be vulnerable. Yes. I recently went on a random football watch party with a mate of mine. Found myself watching a Copa do Brasil match and the lights went out. Yeah, that does happen every now and then. Like the poor clubs in Brazil definitely have a lot of financial problems. Not gonna lie, we don't have small clubs
Yeah.
owned by Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. It doesn't happen here in Brazil. So, um, all right. I'll say a 2-0 win for us. Not the best game, but still a quite comfortable win. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm not feeling that comfortable. What up, lads? Across the pond. Big up again. Forgot I had subbed this one up. Big ups, Anthony, and hello again, Tonio, Claudinho.
big up, mate.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
he
Tonio,
calls me
from
that.
because of yeah, okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Jonathan
yeah.
Iceman, David, hat trick, and Laka brace 3-3. They defense, but David, number one Ligue 1 leader goes and all time Lille best scorer after a few seasons passes Eden Hazard. Okay, think he's talking about a Lille Lyon game, right? Like that's probably going on as it seems like it's a good game. Z is amazing. Alexander Zinchenko, always believe. Last win I can remember is in Laka Nelson. That was the Community Shield game, right? Yeah, I remember that one. Nelson, again, big moment for Nelson. Odegaard, the midfield maestro, was missed. Big ups, Fabio. Thought tough act to follow is Odegaard, but he did well, eh? Okay, Canadian finish there. Tomorrow go rush 3 p.m. UK matches come. Join the fun times. 2-1 Saka and Martinelli versus Mitrovic. That's a sensible prediction. Thanks all for tuning in. Please subscribe and hit the like, and thanks for the support. Sorry, guys, I'm taking a long time here. It's a lot of comments. I said I wasn't going to read all of them, but I
Yeah.
fooled myself. Matthew McConaughey on Austin FC. That they pretty good.
Oh, right. Didn't know that.
3-3 today.
All right,
Lock it.
all right, all
Okay,
right.
that's all right. All right. All right. No, in the league anyway. 2 Liverpool defense mistakes. Okay, that's all the comments, mate.
Okay, cheers, Mark. Well, that's it. That's the end of the show.
Cheers, man.
Hope you enjoyed it. Tony, before we leave, do you want to give your
Yeah.
show a shout out and where people can find you, mate?
Let me give him the solo
Yeah,
thing
sure.
here.
Sure.
Let me take the
Yeah,
Fulham
thanks.
preview out of your
Thanks.
face, my man. Yeah, there you go.
Guys, see, yeah. Big up to everyone who have met here, on this stream. Big up to you. Anthony's my very, very good friend, personal friend of mine, apart from all these things. So me and him do talk most times. Big ups to Matt, who also gave me a chance to come here first, and also to Kai and everyone here. Big ups to you. See, yeah, I run a very, very positive TV channel down here. It's called Tony Claude TV. So you guys should just come. Let's talk football. I like people with opinions. Come share your opinion. Let's just talk football. Because I'm tired of going to all this, Arsenal fan channel and people are just there berating Arsenal and saying Arsenal will not do anything. But right here, right now, we have a goddamn chance of winning the title. So join me on that journey as we go to literally win the title out of this jokers, Manchester City. Their time is up. And it's Arsenal's time to shine. We deserve to win that league. So if you want to be on that journey with me, come show us love and come be part of it at Tony Claude on TV. Big ups to everyone. Thank you for the opportunity, guys.
Right, Marty, do you want to give your socials a shout out where people can find you?
I don't have a lot to shout out. I'm not even gonna put myself in solo. I don't have a lot to shout out. Do support these guys for sure. follow Caio's content on, because you probably don't speak Portuguese. I'm not going to direct you towards his podcast, but do follow him on Twitter because he has great content. And
No,
Twitter,
I can
Alan Musk
subscribe.
translates that for you. That too. He'll shout it out in a little bit. And support Tony as well. Please do keep supporting this channel that I love so much and that was home for me for so long. And I do want to point you guys out towards Steven's channel.
Yeah.
You can still support that one
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's still helping. It's still helping those that need help with the same problems that Steven lived through all his life. So go to Asfitli TV, show love, keep on showing love. Let's keep his good work going. And that's it. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Maddie, once again for having me here. And thank you, buddies, my good friend Caio. Thank you as always. Yeah.
No, that's right. That's fine. Do you know what? It's a joy having you on. And Caio, you're welcome at any time. You, Tony. I was going to subscribe to Caio, but now what you said about Bahia, I don't think I'll bother. But no, that's all. Well,
Anthony, please send me their socials, please. Send socials, please. Follow them, and
yeah,
it'd be nice
yeah,
to
I will
follow.
do. I will do, mate. Yeah,
So please,
yeah,
help me. Send me their. Yeah, thanks.
yeah. But it's been a good stream tonight. Really enjoyed it. We found out Caio don't like Bahia, and nobody agreed with Tony. So that's we're in a winning. So yeah, that's it now. That's I just want to say goodbye and enjoy the rest of your week.
Come on, cousin.
Oh, right, sorry, Caio.
No, man, I love Bahia. I love Bahia.
I know you do. I know you do.
Thanks for having me, and people can find me at AFC_.
Yeah.
FOCO, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. But I love Bahia.
Yeah.
I want them to do well. If I
know, Caio. Yeah, and do you know what? It'd be great to get you on a show next time, another show as well. All right. So yeah, so everybody, this is the end of the show.
He needs me here to keep him safe, my man. He needs me here to keep him safe.
Big ups.
That's a well done.
Big ups.
He's afraid.
It's a honor to be on the show with all of you. Big ups to you guys. Respect to all
Big
of you.
guys.
Respect to all of you.
Yeah.
Big
Same.
ups. Yeah.
Big up, guys. All of okay. So I forgot. I'm the one setting up the outro as well, right? Well, give the final words, host. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right. That's all now, folks. Have a nice weekend and stay safe.
Ciao.
Come on, you Gunners.
Peace.